Smoking is one of the most paradoxical habits in human behavior. Despite overwhelming evidence of its dangers, millions of people around the world continue to smoke, knowingly jeopardizing their health and well-being. Why do so many individuals persist in this destructive habit, even when the risks are so clear? The answer is complex, deeply rooted in the psychology of addiction, habit formation, and human emotions. It is a multifaceted issue that goes far beyond mere choice, involving biology, social factors, and even subconscious memories that shape the way we behave. Why people start smoking. Most people don't pick up their first cigarette because of an inherent craving for nicotine. For many, it begins with external influences, friends, family, movies, advertisements, or cultural trends that portray smoking as cool, rebellious, or sophisticated. Adolescents, in particular, are highly vulnerable to these influences. At this stage of life, individuals are in the process of discovering who they are, and they are highly influenced by their social circles and the world around them. During this formative period, smoking can appear to be a symbol of independence, rebellion, or maturity. It becomes a rite of passage, an opportunity to assert one's identity, and a way to feel included or accepted. For many, these influences lead to smoking long before they fully comprehend the long-term consequences of their actions. Beyond social pressure, emotional regulation plays a critical role in why people start smoking. Many individuals turn to cigarettes during times of stress, sadness, frustration, or even boredom. Smoking becomes a coping mechanism, a way to deal with feelings that are difficult to manage. The ritual itself provides comfort and the illusion of control over overwhelming emotions. At first, the relief that smoking provides feels like a short-term solution, a small escape from reality. However, this coping mechanism gradually takes root, and smoking turns from an occasional habit into a dependency. But why does smoking feel so comforting? Why do so many people describe it as a moment of relief, almost like a deep breath that brings them back to themselves? What is it about the act of lighting a cigarette and inhaling smoke that makes it feel so soothing, even in the face of mounting health risks? The deep psychological connection. Smoking and early life comfort. One of the most intriguing psychological theories about smoking is its connection to early childhood experiences. From the moment we are born, one of the first ways we experience comfort and connection is through sucking, whether it's breastfeeding, using a bottle, or even sucking on a pacifier. These early experiences of sucking are tied to nourishment, warmth, and safety. For infants, sucking is not just about feeding, it's about receiving the comfort and care of their caregiver. This is a fundamental part of human bonding and security. As we grow, we no longer need this act of sucking for survival. But for some people, the psychological association between sucking and comfort remains deeply embedded in the subconscious. Freud referred to this as oral fixation, an instinctive tendency to seek comfort through oral activities such as chewing, biting nails, or, in the case of smokers, smoking. When a person smokes, they may be unconsciously recreating that sense of comfort and security they first experienced in infancy. The act of bringing a cigarette to the lips, inhaling the smoke, and exhaling in a rhythmic pattern can mimic the soothing experience of being fed and nurtured. For many people, smoking is an unconscious attempt to reconnect with that early, comforting sensation of safety. This psychological connection could explain why people often turn to cigarettes during moments of stress, sadness, or loneliness. It provides a temporary grounding, a fleeting sense of comfort, even if it's just for a few moments. The role of nicotine in addiction. While the ritual of smoking and emotional comfort provide powerful reasons for maintaining the habit, nicotine itself plays a crucial role in why quitting is so difficult. Nicotine is a potent stimulant that directly affects the brain's dopamine system, which is responsible for feelings of pleasure, reward, and motivation. When nicotine enters the bloodstream, it triggers the release of dopamine, creating a pleasurable sensation that temporarily alleviates discomfort and creates feelings of relaxation. This reward reinforces the behavior, making smokers crave another hit of nicotine when dopamine levels drop. The cycle of pleasure and reward makes the habit feel almost irresistible. Over time, however, the brain adapts to nicotine. It reduces the number of dopamine receptors, which means that smokers need more nicotine to achieve the same pleasurable effects. This escalating need for nicotine deepens the dependency. Additionally, the withdrawal symptoms, such as irritability, anxiety, restlessness, and intense cravings, make quitting seem unbearable, creating a vicious cycle that makes it difficult for individuals to break free from the habit. Nicotine addiction is not just physical, it's also psychological. Smokers become conditioned to associate the act of smoking with relief and pleasure, reinforcing the idea that cigarettes are an essential part of their emotional regulation. This powerful connection between nicotine and the brain's reward system is one of the reasons why so many smokers find it incredibly challenging to quit. The illusion of stress relief. One of the most deceptive aspects of smoking is the widespread belief that it helps relieve stress. Many smokers claim that cigarettes calm them down, help them focus, or manage feelings of anxiety or pressure. However, this belief is largely an illusion. In reality, smoking often creates more stress than it alleviates. Nicotine withdrawal begins just minutes after smoking the last cigarette. As nicotine levels in the body drop, the smoker experiences a physical and emotional dip, resulting in low-level stress. When they smoke again, they temporarily relieve this discomfort, but they mistake this relief for stress reduction. Smoking doesn't actually reduce stress. It simply halts the withdrawal symptoms caused by the body's dependence on nicotine. Over time, this pattern reinforces the idea that smoking relieves stress, even though it is perpetuating the very cycle of stress that the smoker is trying to escape. This illusion of stress relief can make the habit even more entrenched. Smokers feel a temporary sense of calm after lighting up, but this calmness is actually just the body's brief respite from the discomfort of nicotine withdrawal. As this cycle continues, the smoker becomes more dependent on cigarettes as a way to deal with stress, even though it is ultimately exacerbating their anxiety in the long run. The psychological traps that keep people smoking. Beyond the physical addiction to nicotine, smoking is deeply tied to daily habits and routines. It becomes a part of everyday life. Morning coffee, cigarette breaks during work, or socializing with friends. These habits are ingrained over time, turning smoking into something that feels automatic. The repetition of smoking in these routines makes the habit even harder to break, as it becomes a deeply embedded part of the smoker's lifestyle. Cognitive dissonance also plays a significant role in keeping people smoking. Most smokers are aware of the severe health risks associated with smoking, but they continue to smoke despite this knowledge. This internal conflict creates feelings of discomfort. I know this is bad for me, but I can't stop. To resolve this dissonance, smokers often convince themselves that they'll quit someday, or downplay the risks of smoking. They might justify their habit by telling themselves that they deserve a cigarette after a stressful day, or that quitting is too difficult. This mental trickery enables smokers to avoid confronting the true consequences of their actions, keeping them trapped in the habit for much longer than they may have originally intended. How to break free. Rewiring the mind. Quitting smoking is not just about willpower. It's about rewiring the brain to change the way we perceive cigarettes and break free from the psychological and emotional patterns that keep the habit alive. Since smoking is deeply connected to emotions, habits, and routines, overcoming it requires a holistic approach that addresses both the physical and psychological aspects of addiction. The first step is awareness. Understanding the underlying reasons why you smoke, whether it's to cope with stress, manage emotional pain, or simply because it's become a habit, can help you identify the triggers that lead to smoking. Once these triggers are recognized, you can begin to replace smoking with healthier alternatives that help fulfill the same emotional need without the harmful effects. Reframing the experience of quitting is also essential. Rather than viewing quitting as a loss, losing the comfort and satisfaction of smoking, it's important to reframe it as a gain. By quitting smoking, you gain health, energy, freedom, and self-control. When you shift your mindset from deprivation to empowerment, the process of quitting becomes easier. You begin to see quitting as a way to reclaim your life, rather than as a sacrifice. Since smoking is both a physical and psychological habit, replacing it with a new, healthier behavior can be immensely helpful. Techniques like deep breathing, drinking water, chewing gum, or even holding a pen instead of a cigarette can trick the brain into associating the new behavior with the same comfort once provided by smoking. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful tools in overcoming cravings. Instead of reacting automatically to the urge to smoke, try pausing to observe the craving and acknowledge it without acting on it. Cravings are temporary. They come and go like waves. By learning to sit with the craving and let it pass, you can weaken its hold over you. Over time, this practice makes cravings less intense and easier to ignore. Support is also crucial for anyone trying to quit smoking. Whether it's from friends, family, or a therapist, having a support system can make all the difference. Many smokers find success through behavioral therapy, which helps identify and address the psychological triggers and thought patterns that keep the habit going. Behavioral therapy can also provide the necessary tools to cope with cravings, develop new routines, and stay on track with the goal of quitting. Reclaiming control. Ultimately, smoking is not just about nicotine. It's about deeply ingrained psychological patterns, emotions, and habits. Breaking free requires more than simply discarding cigarettes. It demands a shift in mindset, a rewiring of habits, and a conscious effort to find healthier ways to cope with life's stresses and emotions. The truth is, the power to quit has always been inside you. Your mind is far stronger than any addiction, and with each moment you choose not to smoke, you are taking back control over your life. Every cigarette-free day is a victory, and every step toward quitting is a step toward better health, freedom, and self-mastery. The cravings will eventually subside, the old habits will fade away, and in time, you will wonder why you ever allowed cigarettes to have such a hold on your life in the first place. It's time to take back control. Your future self, healthier and free from addiction, will thank you. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on overcoming habits, improving well-being, and personal growth. We're here to support you on your journey to a healthier, happier life. Also, turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your experiences and questions. Keep moving forward, and remember, you've got this.